What do we know, everybody? Today, we're going to be working on our silver tool pickup, working on the door handle. So, like I said, we're going to be working on our silver tool pickup. It is a Chevy, which shouldn't make that much of a difference, but GM door handles are notorious for not being all that great. When I worked at the body shop way back in the day, we always used to stockpile them because they were that bad. But this pickup is a pickup that the other hired man was driving before I got here. It had tools and whatnot in it. I think we're going to get me another box so I do everything out of my pickup. But this pickup we still use. We got it hooked up to the trailer. It's got the welder and everything else on it. But we got to get this door panel off. It's just a farm pickup, so it ain't going to be pretty or clean. We got to get the door panel off so we can get back and we can look at what that door handle's got going on back there. If it's broke, if it just came unhooked, or what we got. So, a couple of things that I would recommend. Biggest one, clip tool. You can get this particular one at Napa. That's what I did. It isn't anything fancy, but it does its job. When I worked the body shop, this is the style we used most often. But it goes in around the door clip, and you can work it out. You use a pry bar or whatever, you can break the door panel, you can break the clip, and it is what it is. This makes your life a whole lot easier. But to do this, I'm going to have to figure out where all the screws are. Once I think I got all them out, we'll start pulling out clips, and we'll go from there. Now, it has been a while since I've done anything like this. It's been a long while. But I still remember a lot of what needs to be done. And right here, what I got, called a bone knife, used to spread urethane, if you're gonna do it that way when you're doing windshields. We never did. But it works real good for working plastic loose. But just like that, pull these clips out. Got another one right here that come off, not a big deal. We always pull these things out like that because there may be a screw back here. Sometimes they got an ear up here that they could screw in. And the last thing you want to do is break an ear off the door panel. Now, another thing that is worth mentioning here. You always want to look for covers, whether it be a light or a cover like this, because there's typically a bolt or a screw underneath them. That'll make your life a whole lot simpler, and never be too aggressive with it because these door panels are not cheap. Now, a lot of times you can get these switch panels off and you can pull the plugs out before you pull it off. Sometimes you can't. I'm not 100% sure on this one, but you always pull off everything that you can so you can see the bolts. Because the last thing you want to do is break a door panel because you don't get all the bolts out. I'm just going to leave that switch there. So like I say, sometimes you can get these switch panels out. Sometimes you can't. And I'm not really sure what the deal is, but I'm not going to press my luck and try to break something. A lot of what you were hearing was just a screwdriver slipping, trying to work it back and forth. But we got bolts all through this deal. Now typically with General Motors, you're going to have, I believe, a 10 and a 13 and a 6. So we're not going to have any 6s. I'm assuming these are 10s. So we'll find out, get the socket set, and we'll see. We'll take out all the bolts, and then we'll start working clips and see if we forgot anything. We'll just work it nice and easy. Some bolts are going to be longer than others, and always make sure you try to keep your bolts together when you take them out so you remember exactly where they go. Now we'll try to pull this off very easily. Just going through, working it very, very easily. There we go. And we'll lift it straight up. And now we got to contend with wires. Which are pretty simple most of the time. There we go. Got 2 clips on this switch panel. Nothing too hard. Now, let's see. Oh, I think I can flip this button. So we'll need a screwdriver. You see kind of what I'm working with here. Just use a screwdriver and it'll pop right out. See, if I was a good cameraman, I could have showed you this way. Just put a screwdriver right in there and it'll push that right out. Not hard, pretty easy. And sometimes you can take these and run them right back through the door panel, but this isn't the case today. Well, we can't see a whole lot because of the lighting, but you can see well enough that it is a cable style design, which I figured it was. This deal here is your wind and dust shield, and it keeps all your wind noise and the dust and some of the road noise out. You do not want to tear this thing up. You're going to be using a lot of duct tape. And it's just held on by this butyl-like stuff. So I'm going very easy, cutting some of it where I need it so I can get this off. I pulled that yellow clip out, which was right there on this cable, which goes to latch. And I'm going to get this off so I can pull the door panel out here so I got better access to that cable. Well, we got her off. And you can see it's our cable that's broken, not the handle, which is a good thing. But I'll show you over here what I was doing. Because you can get that cable out of that door, but you still can't get the door off because of this thing. I wish my phone would focus here, but you got those ears that you got to push in. It's so much easier to see those ears and to get a hook on them or screwdriver, pliers, whatever, if you move this thing so you can pull the door out a little further. So it is not a very hard thing. It's not very hard to do. You can do it either way. It doesn't make a difference. But this way is just a little bit easier in my opinion. That's why I do it. But I haven't done this for a lot of years. So some things take me a little longer than others, but this is pretty simple, straightforward. You're indoors all the time. And these pickup doors are not all that hard to get into. And GM does not put a million screws in like some brands do, which is nice. But like I said, the cable is broke, which I am thankful for. It's a pretty easy fix. I just called the parts store in town. They got one for 70 bucks. So I'm gonna run in real quick. I'm gonna grab it. It won't take me very long to put it in. The worst part's gonna be getting the old one out of the latch. And worst case scenario, since everything else on there is rods, is I'll just unhook everything and pull the latch out. It's not a very difficult thing to do. We have just got back to the farm and we have got our cable. Now you can see this cable here. You can see the black end, see the ears. Well, that little ball goes into the handle. And then this deal here, little black thing, it clips into the little slot. And those ears make it so it doesn't pull out. You can see our little yellow clip that goes into the door shell. It keeps it from rattling. And then this little yellow end, well, this is the same concept as the black one. Got the ears on it and everything else. It goes into the latch. Now, it's been a while since I messed with one of these, so I didn't remember if it was the rod or cable design. But this is nice because instead of replacing an expensive door handle, you can just replace a $70 cable. It's not that hard. It seems like a pain. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but it's not all that hard. It doesn't take all that long, but now I got to figure out how to get this yellow end out of the latch. So we'll see. All right, we got the cable out of the door, so I'm gonna try to show you this real quick. But you can see this one just slips right into that hole and it gets held in there pretty tight. And that's why we got that deal that clips in on the side here to kind of hold everything in line. Doors essentially got the same thing, only instead of that little cup it slides into, it just got a slot. That's why the other end doesn't have a ball. It's just got a little knob on it, I guess. Not very hard, but it sure is a pain to get that out of the door without taking the latch off, but we did it. And you can't see nothing here, but if you put a light up in here, you can see through the clip hole and through this hole, and you can kind of get a screwdriver down there to kind of work those ears, and eventually it pops out. Eventually. So we got our cable put in with the latch. That's pretty simple. You push that yellow thing into the hole that you see that you got it out of, and then you can use a screwdriver to go through your sight hole, and you can push that cable, which you'll push on this end, push it all the way out, and you push it into your slot on the little ear that goes back and forth to run your latch. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. Next thing you do is you're going to put this back through, and right there is where everything came through. You're going to run everything back through here. You run all your wires back through where they need to go. Then you just match up your holes. Pretty simple. Take this, pay attention to your latch, handle I mean, and this one's the opposite. You slide your rod in, or you slide your cable in first, pull it out, run your cable through its little slot that you'll find. And you just push your black clip in. Wires back through here. Back where it needs to go. Couple of little notes here since I haven't done this for a while, and you could tell that in the last little bit, is make sure where your slot is, because on that door handle, you guys saw you got that little cup that the little ball sits in. Well, then it swings over through a slot, and then you got your black clip that clips through the hole. So you got to remember where your slot is, and that's what I was struggling with there. And then you've got pegs on these to help you align the door panel to get to where it needs to be before you start hitting it to put it on. That way you don't break clips unnecessarily. You got clips over here, or you got little dowels over here and on this side. And I had to use the light on my phone so I could see where those were. That's why I had to end that whole deal there, but it goes on pretty simple after that. So next thing is I'm going to install the switch panel. I'm going to install all the bolts and get everything shored up. It's nice that these things have dowels on them so you can tell exactly where they got to be. There's no guesswork at all. I like that. There we go. Just need to look at it a little closer. Oh, good. There we go. Just like that. All right, we're gonna test this out. Got this bad boy latched. There we go. Just like it's supposed to be. You guys see that none of this is all that difficult. A few of the right tools make things go a little easier. Like say clip tool, socket wrench, 10mm socket, screwdriver. And I also used pair of needle nose pliers to hold that lock rod so I could get that in there. The clip went shut when I was trying to put it on. And I also used radiator hook. One of these are not that expensive and they're handy. Use them for a lot of different things. You wouldn't think you'd use them for so much, but they're very, very handy tools. But like I say, with this, it's just patience, not trying to rip and hammer everything because you're going to break stuff, and those door panels are very expensive and more fragile than they need to be. And like I say, pay attention. It's like that slot. You put that little ball in there, you got to circle it through that slot, and then you can push that black clip in on that cable. Well, I didn't look and remember where that slot was, so that's what made me look so stupid there for a little bit. And then the other thing, like I say, is you got dowels on the door, on the panel. They'll go into guide holes so everything goes in exactly like it's supposed to. That way you don't break clips or hurt the panel. They're handy things, but remember where those holes are and getting them right there. Like I said, I had to stop the camera so I could find those holes with the light. But not hard, pretty quick, pretty easy. But I like making these videos, guys. So if you liked it, I'm happy for that. If you watched it, I'm happy for that. But I think I'm going to cut this off here. I'm going to get everything ready to go, and I'm going to go and I'm going to eat some dinner. So as always, guys, I thank you all for watching.